Welcome to the More You Look podcast. Welcome to the More You Look podcast.
Aye!
What it do today, bro, guys?
Nicola, what's happening? Your cup is empty now. What's going on? I've never seen you with empty cup before. What's up? And you don't sound like your usual self.
No, I'm fine.
You're cool. You just want to be on a gentle tip today. Hey. Raymond and all his nephews are not here today.
Have you started this?
We started already. See, let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you here. I noticed something recently. You know all this, they call it COS, cost of something, I don't know, that people do from Nigeria or Africa when they are coming to the UK. Or that they go to agents to pay agents £10,000, £15,000, £12,000 to process things. Do you know how much that thing costs if you go on the UK Gov website?
You just be paying the basic fees.
£199. But our people will never calm down and go and find this thing. It is there. The government has put it there. You know? But that aside, I found out something recently. You know, they are trying to do this teacher... inviting teachers from all across the world to come and, you know, work as teachers in the UK just because teaching,
of the shortage, you know.
Yeah, teaching is like a revolving door now because they get paid shit money like carers and they are not, you know, appreciated enough anyway for what they do. And then I went on the UK Gov website. I just thought, you know, let me go on this website and just, you know, do a bit of browsing and see what I can dig up. And what I found out is that if you go on there, it says there's this charge, this money called the International Relocation Payments, IRP. International Relocation Payments. All you have to do is go on uk.gov and all this information is there. Why is it that people don't try to do research about anything and they'll just start getting extorted by all these dodgy agents everywhere? It says on here, the international relocation payment is a single payment of £10,000, which will be available to eligible non-UK trainees and teachers of languages and physics. The payment is designed to cover cost of visas, the immigration health surcharge, other relocation expenses. The IRP will offer financial support to teachers and trainees from all over the world who wish to come to train and work in English schools. It will be paid around the end of the teacher's or trainee's first term. It will not need to be repaid. That is all you need to know about this. They are literally offering £10,000 to people who want to come and train or who want to come and teach in the UK. If you're teaching languages, if you're teaching physics, this is up to you. Tell somebody you know who needs to be aware of this information. Stop going to give your hard-earned money. Stop selling your property to go hand over to, what do you call them? Yeah, to all these dodgy agents. Go on the uk.gov. You can process these things yourself. If you know somebody abroad who has the time to help you do all this research, get them to do it for you. The information is out there and Femi, it is free.
Do you have a link, a direct link there that you could?
Yeah, it's there on UK.gov.
No, what we do is
link? Yes, I do.
Send it to me so I can put it on the
upload. On this thing. Yeah,
it will be in the description. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyone that can.
Yeah, the funny thing is they can go and find it themselves, but we will still
They won't.
So we will do it for you people.
I'm saying,
don't worry. It's okay.
It's just a cultural thing, basically. We Nigerians, we hate to dig information.
We hate finding out things.
But that doesn't mean that there are not some of us that would still seek knowledge. You know, the professors, Wally Shoyinka and all that. You know, people. There are still some of us that are exceptional, but. Traditionally Nigerian. I remember when I wanted to do my own application and people were like, give hand to this lawyer, give hand to that lawyer. I'm like, okay, you know what? Before I go even give hand to lawyer, you understand? Let me even see what I need. Then I started reading and I realized that, I could do this shit. You understand? And
process your things yourself. Yeah, just follow the steps.
Did that for myself, did that for my parents when they came, you know? So, but I know Nigerians are not going to, because when I have this chats with some of my friends that I fought with, right, I didn't really fight with them, but, you know, I'm sure because of the way I responded.
Yeah, I agree to disagree. Like, do it yourself now. If sometimes you even give them here is the link. They will still not do it.
They will still.
They literally want you
to start the application for them and now be calling them. What's your surname? What's your date of birth? And you be typing.
And then you will now be the one frustrated at the end of the day because there are some questions on there that only them can answer.
Exactly. Mind you, your time.
And your time.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's like imagine calling off sick for one day to help a friend.
You know what?
And you're not chasing them for the.
Let's that's a good segue. Let's quickly talk about this for a moment. You see, I want to dissuade people from this thing they do where they believe that yes, it's true. Who wants to help you will help you.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Who wants to have time for you? We have time for you. It's like when people say,
you, like Portable saying,
yeah, it's like, hey,
who go help you? No go
stress you. Hey, it's like they say when they say that, oh, I'm sorry, babe, I've been so busy. But people will say no matter how busy somebody is, if they have your time,
make time for
they'll make time. But let me tell you something. There's something I think
that's
people need to
most
stop.
Absolute nonsensical statement.
There's something I would like people to stop, and that thing is this: there's a sense of entitlement that comes into things when you believe that, oh, okay, because this person said they will do something for you. Yeah. You now think that they have so much time. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend, you know him, one of our very close friends. His younger sister wants to come to this country. And now she wants to come with kids. And the friend called me and said, oh, guys, that my sister is coming. A good thing, she's coming to stay within your vicinity. And I know that, I just want you to keep an eye on her. If possible, if she needs to go to certain places where she doesn't know, if you can put her through, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. But the kind of help I can render, you see, is if I know that she's going to point A, I will teach her how to get to point A. I might not have time to physically take her to point A. You get what I'm saying? My mother of blessed memory came to this country on a scholarship as a 16 years old without knowing a soul in this country. And back then, how racist this country used to be. You can't just expect people to drop whatever they're doing. You need to understand that people have a routine that they are used to. Like for some people now, they wake up in the morning, sort the kids' house, do school run, off to work. By the time they come back from work, they are picking up kids from school, whatever, making lunch, whatever, going out again, probably taking kids to extracurricular activities or whatever, shopping. Maybe they have to work on the computer or something. So, let me give you an example. Somebody called me once, one of my very close friends from Nigeria. And what he wanted me to do was, he wanted me to help him make some inquiries about a university in Oxford. And I said, this is not my party now. I should be able to help. So I said, what I'll do is, I will give them a phone call. I can do that now. I will give them a phone call and try and help you find out these things that you've asked me to find out. But this guy then turned out and said, no, that he was thinking maybe I'll be able to go to that university. I'm like, you want me to drive 4, 5, 6 hours? Why? Where do you think I will have that time? Is it me that I work like full days and stuff? I'm like tired half of the time. I barely have a life of my own. Where do you think I'm going to have time to? And if you don't do those things, people will think that you don't want to help them for one reason or the other. So I just feel like if you let's leave this sense of entitlement thing behind, but I don't even want to dwell on that one. I have something I want to read for you guys that I found on Instagram today.
Okay, let's go.
So it says here, I have been denied sex by my husband for about 6 years now. Nicola, you are taking point on this one. And with how blessed I can say we are, he's not going through any problems. And he's not ready for any counseling because I've asked him. And he's not even ready to open up to me as to why. But one day I caught him masturbating and I challenged him. Whoa. I told some people that I thought he would have regards for, but no change still. I don't bother him anymore, but this is killing me silently. So what do you think? So she now went on to say that all he does is he can hug, quick kiss, a peck, and a smack on my butt, but that's it. What do I do? So bear in mind, one, this guy is not really opening himself up for counseling because we could easily say, they should go for counseling. He's not opening himself up for that. He's not listening to probably friends or people that, he holds in high regard that, the wife felt that they could talk to him and he would listen. He's also not doing that. So what's the way forward? Nicola, if you were going through that with your partner, what do you do?
Difficulty.
He's not having sex. He's not going to counseling. He's
And
not
he's
listening.
And he's
He's not listening to. And he's masturbating here and there.
Here and there. Like, to be honest, like.
So what's the way forward?
Dicey.
Shut up. I think if I want to get my way, I'm be like, listen. I know women. We there's ways we could get
There isn't, because she has been unable to get that way
for 6 years. But that's like, okay.
6 years is a long time, though.
Yeah, it's a long time. But when did it start? Did they have kids together?
He doesn't say here.
So,
but that
for
shouldn't
me,
even matter. That shouldn't factor
even
into
for me,
anything.
it's just like a bit difficult because number one, it's like I would just say, all right, fuck you now. I'm getting a dildo. Like, did you get?
But you too.
But you're gonna be doing this forever.
But how long will you use a dildo for then?
I'm not saying forever, but then obviously if his ways are not changing and then we're not together, it says she's not put out that they've had kids or they've.
Yeah, but 6 years though.
But are they married?
Yes.
They're married. So they're married.
Yeah.
Okay, so me, it's like, okay, dildo.
But for how long?
Until he tries to change, because it's
somebody
like,
that did it for 6 years. When will
but
it
it's
change?
like, come on, it's like a man would see his wife masturbating herself. It's gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing? Am I not doing the right thing? But then I don't know. It's like you're making.
Okay, Sky. Sky. Okay.
Wait. Rewind for a few seconds. Is that what you ladies usually think? That if we catch you masturbating, you understand that we'll be thinking that are we not doing?
No,
that?
Let me tell you,
some.
Not to enjoy them.
Some, but then
You don't
some
know, so
guys,
men will get up for that.
Make I tell you, if I come out, see madam, you understand, see my woman.
Yeah, you guys will
with
get
another
aroused.
woman.
No, you get aroused.
No. You know, if I come home, see my wife with another woman.
No, but using a
I dey join. No, I don't care whether I don't do my job or not.
You get your vibe from that, but then other guys are, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
okay,
the
so you've
question is
seen
quite
some guys
difficult.
that they think like that. Oh, okay, but me, I'm saying
What would be
as long as it's
your?
not with another guy, I'm jumping in.
But what would be your? If you go back to the main question
Yeah.
itself, like, what are you going to do? This person, she's refusing counseling. You've talked to people that you know she respects. She's not listening to them. What's your next move? I think you cannot buy dildo now.
Exactly.
But then, would you say, she should go and divorce him now?
Well,
because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, yeah, I get that part, but then if they've been together for a long time and she stuck up with that for a long time, I don't understand. Like, do you get what I mean? You have to balance. Like, what do you want to do? Divorce? Or just
and
get
it was
your
not
dildo?
like that before, right?
Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know what I'll do because, but basically, this kind of stuff, I feel like, you know, I've said this in the podcast before in another way that for me, there are some things that is just, you know, is the limits. You understand? So at some point, you're going to realize that you can't take, if you get dildo or you even decide to cheat, have your own side, how long is that going to really be for? That you're gonna get tired of hiding that you have.
It's better to get divorced. It's better to get separated than to be going
You're
through that.
Gonna get tired of hiding that you have your own guilty pleasures that you didn't want to start, but because of his own, that person's your partner's behavior, you understand, you have to start yours. Then you start hiding it and hiding it. Then you be like, you know what, fuck, I'm not hiding it anymore. So just cut the cord, you know.
There's a video on TikTok. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Which one?
It's of a mom that went to her kid's school. I mean, to the library. She went to the library with some books. And these books were meant for 7-year-olds and 10 years old. Okay? And what these books are, I think that I need to play this video. Let people actually listen to it because she was self-explaining on there. And I think it's something that we need to sort of pay attention to.
Kawaii, and it's really atrocious. These are just some of the few books I found. I mean, I couldn't bring them all from Kawaii. This is one of them. What makes a baby? In this book, there is no babies anymore. There's no men. There's no woman. There's bodies with uterus and bodies with sperm. They are removing the word.
I'm going to be pausing it and then we'll talk about it.
Red is for kindergartners.
No, this is where it
be on
starts.
the wrong body. This is for 3 years in the wrong body.
So basically, there are books for as little as 3-year-old kids in schools that are titled "Being in the Wrong Body." So this is what for me, I just feel that, you know what? Because there's this culture in this world now that we live in where you cannot dare to say anything. And you are labeled as transphobic, homophobic,
Against,
or whatever phobic.
against whatever
you are
idea.
anti anything, you know, anti-black or whatever it is. And I think I do have an issue with this because I don't see any reason why there should be books for 3 years olds that is saying being in the wrong body. Let children be children. Children don't know anything.
100%.
I have never seen a 3-year-old child that thinks they're in the wrong body.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
Kids will be kids anyway.
You get what I'm saying? So let's keep going.
In the brown body. This is for 10 years old.
This book now is for 10 years old kids. This is going to blow you away. Now, watch this. I'm going to pause it. Look, what do you see?
Oh my god.
This is for 10 years old. Okay?
Oh my god.
Is that?
So
Yeah,
now,
them having
this
sex.
is a 10 years old book. It gets worse. It actually gets worse. No, it gets worse. This book,
Fucking hell.
No, this book is meant to be for 10 years old, okay? Teaching them about sex education.
yeah.
You know, when we were growing up, we got the sex education from our parents. They tell you about the birds and the bees. And then when you get to, is it integrated science?
Yeah.
When you get to GSS 3, Junior Secondary School 3, that is when they officially teach us in class. And they sort of just gloss over it a little bit. They don't come up with pictures and videos of two people having sex, right? They don't show you pictures of a man and woman having sex. They show you the male reproductive organ, female reproductive organ, fully labeled in a scientific way, vulva, this, that. And then they explain how these things work, fallopian tube, you know. And that was how we learned about sex. And even then, it used to be really awkward if you think about it. From the teacher explaining to you, all of us just making jokes in class, never taking it seriously. But now, now, this is a book for 10 years old, and the pictures in this book actually shows 2 women having sex, both naked. 2 men having sex naked for 10 years old.
What's the name of that book?
Hold on.
10 years old.
Whether it's heterosexual or homosexual.
I don't.
No, go back.
I have to
In the
go back.
wrong body.
In the brown body. This is for 10 years old. 10 years old, you guys. It's perfectly normal.
Yeah, the title of the book is, this even gets worse.
Perfectly
The
normal.
title of the book is It's Perfectly Normal.
It's perfectly normal.
When you title a book, it is perfectly
That's it.
normal. And inside the book for 10 years old, you have actual pictures, pornographic pictures of 2
By
women.
Robbie H.
Yes.
Harris.
Of 2 women having sex, 2 men having sex on a bed, naked, you know. So let's continue. Oh, it even gets worse. Sky, it gets worse.
89 fucking pages.
Sky, it gets worse.
Isn't it crazy? It's not.
I will show you the one that will blow you away
Heterosexual
now.
or homosexual.
I don't care. I don't care. This is
Alright,
not
we gotta,
this is not for
when
10
you
year
finish
old,
this,
you
we
guys.
gotta check
Anybody have
reviews.
children here or baby? This is not okay. Okay.
Now, this one is the worst one.
This is gender queer. Sorry, you guys.
Queer.
The title of this one is Gender Queer.
So
Now,
that means people that...
no, it even gets worse.
Level 6.
Now, you see, this is where I have a problem. I am not saying don't make information available. Don't make information accessible.
But try and...
There are teenagers out there that have discovered that, oh, I think that I actually am
Wanna be the girl.
gearing more towards liking men. I'm a man gearing towards liking men. I'm a woman
Getting to
liking women. But I don't know how I feel. I don't know how this makes me feel. I don't know what I'm meant to do. Fine. There should be accessible information because they say knowledge is power. But when you now make books for 10 years olds,
You're making it feel
depicting
like it's okay.
pictures of a man sucking
Sucking
another
his
man's
pieces.
penis. And guess what? These are not just books that are floating around. These are books that were found in libraries for schools. Okay? So I, for one, have a problem with that. Because you see, I believe in a world where live and let live. You can choose to be gay. I have gay colleagues. I have one great gay friend, and I look through her eyes into the gay world to understand better. Because you can't just be moving around ignorantly and be oblivious of what's going on around you. You know, I believe fully in live and let live. It's okay to be gay if you want to be gay. It's okay to be trans if you want to be trans. You know, I was watching one interview yesterday, and Piers Morgan was telling one of the trans activists, or I don't know what you want to call her, and he was telling her that the problem he had he has with this whole thing, that he respects people who know that they feel like they're in the wrong body. They feel like they need to change. They've gone through the hard work of going through all those operations, hormonal changes, injections, and all those things, because it is a very, very hard journey, believe me.
A long journey.
It's not long and hard. He says he has respect for them. And while I cannot stand Piers Morgan's guts, on this one thing, I can see where it's coming from. He said the problem he has is people who just wake up one day and decide that, one, I want to be a woman. Now, you want to start using female toilets. You want to partake in female sports. You want to shatter their records. You want to, but you're not willing. You know in yourself that you're just trying this out. I mean, how do you explain that people walking around now that say they identify as cats? There are people walking around today identifying as horses.
There is day.
Yeah,
People,
I mean, look at people who are now, they are now changing.
Madonna,
they are now changing words from fisherman to fisher day. Them. No, I'm not serious. From postman now is now post them. No, I'm going to see Sam Smith. Now I'm hearing that they are going to change the entire award. They are going to change the entire award shows categories.
Femi, are we still talking about Earth? Yeah.
We are on planet Earth, bro, and it's getting. No. For me, I just feel like
it looks like you're speaking.
While there needs to be orientation, while there needs to be information, because the truth is, the trans people are facing a lot of judgments, a lot of aggression, and just a lot of opposition, basically from everybody else. Yeah. So I feel we need to have more information. Even as a straight person, we need to be more informed, so that we can understand that, wow, it is your world. We should be able to accept people, live and let live, like I say. But the moment you now start enforcing putting this information out there to children as little as 3, I'm sorry, I don't think there's any 3 years old.
It's disgusting.
I don't think there's any 3 years old who actually thinks they need to be a 3-year-old boy who thinks he needs to be a girl.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But when you put the information out there in front of them, kids will follow anything. Kids soak up anything.
Yeah.
They will follow. When I was young, when I was young, I wanted to be Jackie Chan, because that was what I was seeing. Yeah. We would sneak and watch our uncles there when they are watching all those Chinese films.
Then I wanted to be an herbalist.
Yeah.
Because in all the
Nigerian movies
that we watch there,
herbalist,
the herbalist is usually the most powerful person.
Yeah.
Stronger than police.
Yeah.
Stronger than politicians, because the politicians
go to them. The pastors go to them. Everybody just goes to them.
Those were the kind of visuals that were available to us.
And the honest truth is that is what caused the epidemic of ritualism in Nigeria today. But that's tough for another day.
Exactly.
When we were young and we were living with my grandma, one of my cousins, Oyin, she'll probably watch this and laugh. She wanted to be Superman so bad, so she climbed on top of the fridge and tied a wrapper around her neck and flew from till today. She still had that mark in front of her head.
What are you talking about? When I went buddy school, in buddy school, we had this game that we played that from movies that we see, like Jack Chan and the rest. We had this game that ceiling fan. You have to stop it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we keep going higher, and it's got 5 levels in it. So we start from 1. Well, the way they are playing this game with the bottles now. It's like a game like that in boarding school. You understand? You have to catch it. You start from 1, then to the highest 5. The day that thing chopped my fucking finger. Luckily, it didn't go off. It chopped my finger.
I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, back to the topic. Honestly, this is something that I take. I was troubled when I saw that video.
Anyway.
Why do you have books with men sucking each other's penises for 7-year-olds, 10 years old? Why can't we not just let children be children? And when a minor becomes an adult at the age of 17, when they hit the teenage years, show them whatever you want. Put any information in front of their face. So yeah. So I mean, we really need to. I think we need to live in a world where children can just remain innocent. I'm not saying the information put in front of them is causing them not to be innocent. I mean, check this out. When the internet first came out, and we started progressing in the world, there was a time when you could easily give. 6-7 years ago, you could give a child a tablet. Like a 4 or 5-year-old, and they would watch kiddies videos. There was BBC TV. You had stuff. Then YouTube Kids came out, and I can assure you, without a shadow of a doubt, I know this for a fact. That's
the worst one to go
the
on.
most places.
That's the worst one to go on.
That your child can actually stumble on pornographic material is on YouTube Kids
YouTube.
today.
YouTube.
Because people put cartoons on there that look like the same thing. Like you can find Peppa Pig cartoon there. But you as a parent, if you walk by your child watching on the tablet, you say, oh, he's watching Peppa Pig. You will walk away.
Yeah.
But then your child is now suddenly watching Peppa Pig, sucking off somebody's another pig's dick or something, you know, and now it's totally become pornographic.
And the comments,
yeah,
the comment section,
and sometimes even the things they say in these cartoon videos, curse words and all sorts of stuff. And
my son has been struggling to. I think he's been handling it well. But imagine if he didn't have someone like me that can actually keep him on his toes about it. So the first one he started was like, Bob. I'm like, Nathan is 8.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
You know what I'm saying?
He's talking to me. I told him, Nathan, I got you that stuff that you wanted, the headphones. Bob.
Let me tell you.
What?
Mine. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I feel like kids. I feel like all kids go through their stages, especially this day and age. Yeah, when you have kids this day and age, you get bruh. Like my son does bruh. He's like, "What's up, mom?"
No, it's not even that. What we are talking about, he must have learned that in school. You know, but what we are talking about,
it's online.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
things are online.
Yeah, for me,
it influence.
That's
kids,
but there's still what we're saying that as parents now, we can't just say, oh, this thing has been specifically made for kids, so I trust it. You have to do the two-factor authentication, this thing. And by saying that, I mean, you have to sit and watch a few episodes. There are games now that they download. These games have been vetted by Apple, mind you.
They don't play.
These are not just random games.
Just vet it with.
These are games that have been vetted by Apple. You go on these games, and all you find on these games are pornographic stuff. Pornographic stuff. And even the ones that are not pornographic stuff, the language. When my son is 10 now, when he was 7 years old, all of a sudden he had this face where he started saying nigga everywhere. And I thought, why is that? What? I never watch adult stuff. That is why, I never watch any adult stuff around these guys. And I'm sure in their school, my son was the only black person in his class. For like the entire 3-4 years. My daughter, the same thing. Their school is a predominantly white school.
And sorry, I need to add this. And the headphones, when you've got PS4, Xbox, and whatnot, you understand? The headphones, because you can't hear it, even if you're sitting with them in the living room. You understand? Because you can see if you know what they say in those games.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
When they are playing,
what they say,
other people,
all these things they say to themselves.
When I was setting theirs up, I actually found out that I can play with any player
anywhere in the world. Yes.
Even
of any age.
Oh yes. Do you know how many times
I set their own to? I set Nathan's own to 8, but I found out that I was able
People
to
could
play
still
with
add.
No, because do you know why?
Than 8.
It's not that. Because what's happening is, because it took me a long time to be able to actually decide on what games my son and my daughter can go on to.
Can play or not.
Because I downloaded games meant for their age, strictly their age. You can tweak these things where it will just be there.
Yeah, I know. You do the
but
settings.
Then I sat with her one day. And I made sure she wasn't on headphones. And I was hearing a fully grown adult talking to my daughter. And I thought,
what?
So what they do is, you have to be careful of the content. You also have to be careful of predators online.
Yeah, 100%.
They are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Don't say because... and guess what? From what I have just played, it's actually literally in the schools.
Yeah.
So... you literally have to, don't sit there and just say, oh, I'm so busy.
Number one place we should
is actually
in the first place.
Yeah, the schools. They have these materials in there that will actually end up at the end of the day, because I will stand on this. I believe that these things at the end of the day is just going to do nothing but confuse a child. I've been 3 years old before.
And mislead
I've been 7 years old before. If an adult is coming to tell me that yes, it's okay to be in love with a man like somebody that looks like me, is okay. And now there are books where I'm opening and seeing a man with another man's penis in his mouth. Why? How is nobody thinking that is too much for a 7-year-old? How is nobody thinking that is too much for a 10-year-old?
There was a parent that was in the news recently.
And if you say anything now, they say you are transphobic, you are homophobic, you are dysphobic, you are that phobic. How are you not seeing that?
Femi, there was a parent that tried to fight, that has been trying to campaign against all this in the news. I don't know if anyone's seen it. You know, the least any one of us can do, you understand, that our parents, have been parents, you know, that are able to go online, you know, find these petitions. Let's keep signing them. Let's keep trying to do what we can. Because this guy, I don't think he gets as much support as in the news. The schools were even challenging him. There was one that, this one was even Catholic church, Catholic school. You know, they were teaching this. They were teaching this stuff, telling their kids that it's okay if, you know, about gender change, like it's okay if you don't feel like you're a boy, if you're a boy, or it's okay if you don't feel
what
like
5-year-old
you understand?
will
So
not
kid,
feel. I mean,
Catholic school, because I believe that is just like maybe the Catholic are trying to modernize, you know, come to a modern age. So before they knew it, they are taking in everything
But
that they would frown upon. Because in Catholic, I know back then you couldn't get married if you were pregnant.
Yeah, there's a lot of
they had stuffs like that.
I mean, I have
why
no
would
problem.
they
No.
think it's okay
Don't get me
to
wrong.
expose kids
Don't get me wrong. I have
little
absolutely
things like
no
that?
problem with the Catholic Church trying
I love Catholic
trying to
Church.
move up with the times.
Yeah, but
there's
there's
a
a line.
It's the
There's
way
a line.
they do
There's a
it.
line.
Let's be
There's
very
the- it's
clear
the way
about
they
this
do it.
thing.
Remember when we were growing up, before we were 18, we used to look forward to 18 as the golden age.
Yeah, not
Like,
anymore.
We
Yeah,
wanted to be 18, you understand? Because
Now, they
that was
want-
when
they-
you were allowed to mingle
do
with
so many things.
girls,
Yeah,
to
go on
or
dates,
officially have
on
girlfriends.
chaperones and stuff like
Now,
that.
18 is
No,
nobody super proud to
Like
become
it's almost
18.
like they desperately want 10 to be the
to
new
be the
18.
new.
That's the
And they're
problem.
even sinking loyal, because if that kind of a book is for
7-year-old
7-year-old
with pictures of
you understand that
people of the same sex
maybe
having
3
sex.
is the new 3 is the new 13.
Just
18.
let's be very clear. This podcast is not transphobic, it's not homophobic. We all believe in live and let live. But what we are talking about is, at what point do we decide that certain information, pictures, videos, all these materials is too much for minors as young as 10 and 7? It's too much.
Femi.
But we can be here all day. So
Femi, we can't move on because
Okay.
Nicola has not officially.
yeah, she was going to say
responded
something
that.
earlier.
No, but I already said what I wanted to
Okay,
say.
then we can. I would want us to read the reviews of one of them.
Okay.
We'll just pick one or two, because
Okay.
books like this, you understand. Let's just pick reviews.
Okay. What's the title of that
on
book again?
Amazon, that's the one. The first one. It's Perfectly Normal: Changing Bodies, Growing Up, Sex, and Sexual Health. A family library. So the age group on the book, I don't see it yet, but let's just go to reviews, because if something like that is controversial when you saw it in a video, I would like to see what other people are saying. This one says, "Wow, this book covers everything, and I mean everything. Seriously, I'm reading this with my 11-year-old and I'm learning stuff myself."
There you go.
11-year-old.
But why should
I gave him the option and he asked me to read it with him. So that's what we're doing. At first, I thought it might be a bit much. But after reading the chapters on puberty, I'm pleasantly surprised at how eagerly he's taking it on board. We're reading everything. I was originally focusing on the boy stuff, in particular when we were reading about puberty. But he was so engaged that we read the girls' puberty section too. And now we've gone back to the start to read the whole book.
Okay.
True. I'm going to pause there. So I'm going to stop there so we don't go on and on. So Femi, you're here speaking about something, and we have people giving it 5 stars for reading it with an 11-year-old.
Well, I don't
Now,
know.
I'm going to pick one negative comment so that we can move on as well. Now, this person says on Amazon, reviewed in Canada, 24th April 2019. This has been available since 2019, you know. Not for 10-year-olds. I read a few other reviews commenting on inappropriate illustrations,
yeah.
but because I didn't have pictures to gauge for myself whether I was okay with them or not, I thought I would give this book a try anyways. There's no way I'll be showing it to my child.
Yeah.
Why does a 10-year-old need to see an
Yes.
illustration of a woman
riding a man?
riding a man?
Why?
Yeah.
Why do
It's
they
like
need
it-
to see an
it's like
illustration
giving
of
that
people
10-year-old a
masturbating?
goal.
Why do they need to
It-
see an illustration of people masturbating?
Masturbating. It is.
Is it not? Is
Go
a
on.
description not enough? This book was not done with class. It reflects a style of sleazy locker room talk.
Yeah.
The age recommendation should be increased. It's way too inappropriate
Yeah.
for a 10-year-old.
100%.
There's a chapter on abortion too. Do they really need to know that at 10?
years old.
I would not recommend this book as an introduction
But
to
it's like
sex ed
this
for a
book is
child.
like trying to say, oh, it's okay to do it at 10 years old, and then oh, it's okay to like have an abortion. It's basically telling you it's okay to do things that at 10 years old. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
understand?
Yeah.
So it's quite sickening.
Look, there's another one there by another customer from Canada that says, I bought this because it was highly recommended. I'm not impressed with the illustrations on every page. They are really unnecessary, given the reading level and subject matter. Come on. That is just all we're saying.
The reason why I wanted us to check
That's what we're
reviews is
saying.
this. You see, one thing I found about humanity is this. If one person is extremely going towards good, another person is somewhere on the planet is
There
going
is,
extremely
you know what I actually feel.
bad. You
You know what I
understand?
feel. That book, the pictures on there, I'm not gonna lie, with the sexual education information in there, is actually good and okay for a teenager.
18-year-old.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Bro.
Remember, see,
For a teenager,
you know-
because let's be honest, unless we want to deceive ourselves, kids nowadays have started having sex from age 13, 14.
way early,
They have
way
started
early.
exploring. And when you're exploring something that you know nothing about, it's very dangerous. That is what leads to childhood pregnancy, unwanted pregnancies, and all that stuff. You see? So there has to be some form of information, guidance for these teenagers. But that is why this sort of material should be starting from age 16, 17 upwards.
I don't know about
18.
In my own opinion.
when I read the first review, you understand, the first thing that came to my mind is I agreed with some of the points in terms of that person, the elderly person who was writing the review, learned some things. Because one thing I remembered before I turned 18, I was looking forward to the first time I'm gonna have sex. There was nobody to guide me, nobody to tell me how. And guess what? I walked out of that situation with my two knees, completely scraped.
You had carpet burns.
Because I did it on the carpet,
Oh my God.
Nobody showed me what to do and all that. So if I had something like that at 18, you understand, I would have been grateful for it, But then I mean, and that sex was probably unprotected, if I can remember clearly, So I didn't have anybody to put me through. But a 10-year-old, you're overwhelming them with that kind of information
It's too
that I
much.
couldn't even handle on my own.
Yes, it's too much.
At
I feel it's
18.
too much. It's too much. Yeah, it's too much. Yeah.
You know
It's
who
too
I
much.
feel for?
We can do better.
You understand? My kids, they might come out okay. They might most likely will come out okay from
too
this
much.
because they're already at 8, 10 and all that. And they have someone like me to, walk them through. But the people I pity is their children. Because if 3-year-olds are being exposed to, radical things like this, imagine what their own generation would be like. People could be getting married as soon as they were popped out of their mom's belly. And they were like, they want to marry each other.
It's a
And
new
just
world order.
legalize
That's
it.
what we say. It's a new world order. It's left to you how you parent your kids. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when people were accusing rap music for, making people do violent things, and people came out and said, well, like Eminem said in one of the songs that, okay, obviously you are not parenting if your child is able to hear my music. So it's entirely up to you.
Who was that?
Eminem.
Okay,
When
yeah,
when people were saying, "Oh, it's all this
With the
rap
way-
music
with the way it was
that's
talking,
making
you
people,"
know?
yeah. So here's the thing, but we can't even say that in this instance because how can I stop my child from reading books in the school? How can I stop my child from reading books inside of the school?
You have to stop the child from going to school.
That's the thing, and that's why more and more people are pulling their kids out to
Can
homeschool.
actually afford to do that.
But how many people can afford to homeschool children now? You can't. You have to quit your job and everything.
And guess what? In a country like the UK, where they're struggling with staffing in schools,
There's nobody
you
to
understand?
actually
who is even
keep
going to
an
help
eye.
you police these kids
Yeah.
from picking
Yeah.
the
Bad
right
habits,
books?
yeah.
You understand? Could it be one of the teachers? I mean, could one of them, like the first review, could it have been from a teacher who actually teaches in a school and encourages other kids
Yeah,
to read
the
this
teacher
kind of
probably,
stuff.
most teachers will be like, oh, this is good information.
Yeah,
this is really good.
At
I'm
11,
like, yeah.
I reading it to your 11, and
Yeah.
he said the boy was even more aroused.
Yeah.
The way he said it was like the boy was excited
Yeah.
about it.
about the
So
female.
obviously, look at
But-
it as he's excited. Look at it. That's like even give. Don't you clock on? That's registered that 10-year-old or 11-year-old boy. Let me go and explore and see.
The
Toto
next
now.
time that little 10,
But, yeah.
11-year-old is gonna be left alone with a girl, guess what? He will want to see.
That's what I'm saying.
What's under this girl's skirt? Femi, don't you know?
But that's how it happens.
Because when
That's how it happens.
Yeah, I remember when I was 10, 7, 8, I was so impressionable that if you come to my house today and you're wearing a wristwatch, that wristwatch will be the only thing I'm seeing for the next 1 week. You get? That's how impressionable we are at that age.
I
You
just
come
think it's
with a
crazy.
gold wristwatch in my house, I want to be a goldsmith. Then you're now showing me how to ride on.
Man, parents is on you. It's
Anyways,
on you.
moving
Yeah,
on.
we
Moving
have
on.
we have a lot of work to do.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So, there's this thing I like to do. I mean, in like earlier episodes when we started this podcast, and we used to give information to people about, traveling, migration, and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not going to dwell on this one because I've established one thing. If there's anything I know about our people, is that they hate doing things for themselves, and that's the truth. I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything. You people know they hate doing things for themselves. You give them information. You even tell them where to go look. They will still wait for you to do it for them. But this is all I'm going to say. There's a shortage. We know there's a shortage of nurses in this country. At the same time, there's now a shortage of teachers because the teaching profession has become, there's a revolving door now because teachers don't get well paid for the amount of work they have to do. They're underappreciated, overworked. It is what it is. So because of that now, they've thrown the gates open. They're trying to encourage more people from third world countries and other parts of the world to come into this country and, teach. So there's something I stumbled on for you guys. Don't ask me. We will put the link on there for you. We will put the link on there. I've talked about it already. We've talked about it today, haven't we? Rewind and listen to the beginning of this podcast about this teacher. I don't want you guys to miss it. £10,000. The government, British government, UK government is paying 10k to teachers that are teaching specific.
Femi will shoot me if he has a gun. I was going to say, if you what you like, if your talent in life, if your talent in life is shoemaking, don't go and collect 10,000 and say you are going to teach that you are not going to
standard.
teach you.
That one is standard now.
You understand?
That one
Like
is
me
standard
now,
now.
I cannot teach to save my own life. You understand? So something like that, I can't go there because I know that our people they go get 10,000. They don't go wait for the rest of the sentence.
Shoemaker go.
They know they apply.
Shoemaker
You
go do
understand?
this
But
too now.
yeah, but I'm just joking, guys. Anyways, so we'll put the link in underneath the video. Anywhere you're watching this or listening. If you're on Spotify, big shout out to you. If you're on YouTube, whatever you're watching from, so we'll put the link there for you.
Yep. So, well, we're still here. We're still getting your comments. Keep them coming. Send us questions that we will address in the next episode. Until we see you guys in the next episode.
Send me some lemon and honey and some ginger.
Nicola was actually a bit under the weather today. If you notice, she's not really talking like her usual self.
We're trying to get her out of under the
but
weather.
we appreciate you for coming still, Nicola, despite everything.
Welcome.
You still tried your best. You're here. We appreciate you. We wish you to get better soon. And take good care of yourselves, guys. Till we see you in the next episode.
Peace out.
Peace out.